right before your eyes. South Florida is shifting, the tides start to turn. If you don't know the math, you're gonna get burned. Yeah, this is the Miami Condo Exchange. Welcome to the Miami Condo Exchange, where we break down the price, the scope and the range. With Peter Zalewski, keeping it real, digging deep in the dirt of every single deal. From the buy-side pressure to the sell-side heat, the only podcast you need on the Miami street. Hey. Real numbers, real talk. The hyperbole stops here. This is the Miami Condo Exchange, y'all.
Happy Tuesday, Miami. This is the Miami Condo Exchange, a statistical look at what's going on in the Tri-County, South Florida region of Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County from a condo perspective. Today, we're going to be talking about what's going on price-wise. Some of you might not realize, but prices are down since the end of the winter buying season. Average asking price down 3.25%. If you take a look at vintage condo prices, relatively flat. Take a look at the pending sales side, though. Since the end of April, the 28th of April, the end of the winter buying season, that's that period from November through April, when everybody comes to town. They come here for a event. They come here for a cruise. They come here for a vacation. While they're here, they fall in love with it. They decide to start shopping around for properties, and lo and behold, they end up closing in the summer buying season. What we're seeing, though, is prices are coming down on the pending sale side. On the overall marketplace, this is all condos, 4.23% drop. And if you take a look at vintage condos, 6.43% drop in terms of the average price, asking price, when a property went pending. What are they ultimately going to close at? We don't know. We're not going to know for 30, 60, 90, 120 days later once the completed data is actually released. What happens if some of the condos fall out? Well, they'll simply be removed from it. What happens if they close? Well, they will be added to the closed sales data. That's the way to track it. And this is all based on the South Florida Condo Cliff Index. This is an index that we've created back on January 1st, 2025 to be able to track what's going on in the marketplace on a real-time basis. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We'll tell you what's going on overall in the marketplace. We'll tell you where the weaknesses are. We'll also tell you where the strengths are. I'm Peter Zalewski, condo consultant, expert witness, founder of the Miami Condo Investor Club. 4 o'clock weekdays, I go live, and we're talking condos. On Tuesdays, we talk the Miami Condo Exchange. What is the Condo Exchange? It is a perspective where you look at the condo market as if it is a large trading pit, a trading floor for condos. Back in the day, when you used to trade stocks in an exchange, whether it was in New York, where it was equities, or it was in Chicago, where you were trading commodities, what you would do is you'd call your broker would call the floor, the person on the floor would answer the phone, they'd write up an order, give it to a runner who took it in the pit, and people were selling and they were buying condos. That's how we look at the condo market down here in South Florida. We look at it as if they are commodities. These are no different than oil, salty snacks, or pork bellies. And this Tuesday podcast is meant to give you an idea what's going on statistically in the marketplace. A lot of people rely on closed sales data. Closed sales data, much like unemployment data, it tells you what happened in the past. If you want to know what's going on going forward, let's say 6 months going forward is typically what they say in Wall Street. The indices, whether it's the S&P 500, it's the NASDAQ, it's the Dow Jones, it's the Russell, anything like that, that's meant to give you an idea where we're going in the future. You want unemployment data? That tells you about the past. Closed sales data will tell you what happened in the past. Our indices are meant to give you a perspective of how we are operating today, where the opportunities are, and where are the markets where maybe you ought to sort of avoid it because you're not going to necessarily get what you need if you're on the buy side. But if you're on the sell side, it tells you where you might be able to get a good or better chance of selling your condo, maybe at a price that you want. But we are in a buyer's market in South Florida coming in. It's close to 12 months of supply. 6 months is going to be equilibrium. Less than 6 months will be a seller's advantage or a seller's market. More than 6 months, called 7 months or higher, that's going to be a buyer's market. Now, when we get to 13 months or so of supply, now we suddenly move into a deteriorating buyer's market. So right now we're at the edge. We're at the precipice of a worsening buyer's market. Worsening market, but if you're a buyer, this is exactly what I want to hear. If you're a seller, what does that mean? That means you got to cut that price. We've been warning you. The market is becoming challenging. Why? Because the cost of condo living has gone up excessively ever since Surfside Condo collapsed, which will be 5 years ago this month that tower went down on the Barrier Island, Miami-Dade County, immediately north of Miami Beach, right there on 87th Terrace. It went down. Nearly 100 people died. $1 billion settlement was paid out to the families of victims, and everything changed since then. The condo legislation has changed. Transparency has been brought to the market, whether it's on the sharing of information with unit owners and or it's necessary, mandatory life safety inspections. And these inspections are done by licensed architects, licensed engineers. They then write up a report. They turn over their analysis to the numbers people within the organization who apply a dollar amount to what's it going to cost to fix everything that was identified by the experts, licensed architects, licensed engineers. That's then turned over to the board for the particular condo association. The board now has to fund the necessary work. They have to have a roadmap. They have to lay it out, how it's all going to play out. In the past, for 2026, condo association boards could simply defer. No longer the case. And as a result of that, we're seeing big special assessments. We're seeing rising maintenance fees, and we all know about insurance. Insurance is much higher today than it was 5 years ago when the Surfside condo collapse actually occurred. So we got a changing dynamic. We got a changing market. It's a market where renting increasingly is a better option than buying one of these condos. However, if you buy right, you probably are going to be in the money. Remember, you make your money on the buy. So that's the general premises, general overview, I should say, of kind of where we are in the marketplace. Let's now drill down into some of the stats. We'll show you some charts. We're going to show you some line charts. We'll show you some bar charts. You get a good perspective of what's going on. I'll throw out some numbers, some statistics, give you a sense of where we are today on the 9th of June in month 2 of the summer buying season, which goes from May through October. Who's to say what's going to happen this summer buying season? A lot of sellers, a lot of developers are banking on the fact that this week starts the World Cup. It's going to be north of a month. It'll be going on. Miami's going to be hosting some matches. And what's meant to happen is people from all over the world are going to be coming here. They're going to be coming here to watch the matches. At least that's what they're saying. If you look at the hotel numbers, you look at the resale prices of the tickets for the FIFA World Cup games, which will be played up at Hard Rock Stadium right there in Miami Gardens on the border of Broward County. It sounds like it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. You got tickets starting for, let's say, decent matches, $400 a ticket. Some of the better matches like Colombia, Portugal, at least in the first go through, you're looking at $3,100 a ticket. And then if you want to park, $250 to park your car out there. So it's going to be very challenging. There is an affordability issue in the United States. We all know what's going on with gasoline because of the war with Iran. We know what's going on with mortgage rates, which are pushing 6.6, possibly going to 7 before they go south to 4, which is necessary based on the industry watchers as to what will jumpstart this housing market. So a lot of challenges out there, and the cost of condo living has gone up. And as a result of that, sellers, they're feeling the pain, and some of them increasingly are heading for the exits. And when they head for the exits, what do? They cut the price because a condo is a commodity. It is oil. It is salty snacks. It is going to be pork bellies. It's nothing more than cement, rebar, and some glass, some expensive glass if you're in Miami-Dade County because of what happened Hurricane Andrew way back when, 1992. But that's a different story. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to share our charts with you. We'll walk you through what's going on in the marketplace. I should tell you, you're watching this live. As a result of this, you're going to see everything for free. We do 4 o'clock podcasts weekdays, in which if you tune in, you're able to watch it. If you want to watch it on demand, once the podcast ends, we will make it available on demand. We'll do some quick editing for sound as well as template and look. And then after that, we'll make it available. However, on demand, you got to be a member of the Miami Condo Investing Club. If you want information on joining the club, go to miamicondo.club. What you're going to get from the club is an ecosystem, a community that we're building to share information about the condo market. So if you're a DIY buyer, you're a buyer working with a broker, you're a sell-side agent who's got a listing that they can't sell, you're a lender trying to figure out, should you put money on the street? What should you anticipate? Could be a regulator, could be a gadfly, and simply are curious about what's going on in the condo market. Consider joining the Miami Condo Investing Club. We're giving you straightforward information. We'll let you know what's going on in the marketplace. You're not getting Chamber of Commerce talk here. You're not getting sell-side hyperbole. We're not going to be spinning. We're going to be coming at you straight with the marketplace. And our thought is, If you provide transparency to the marketplace, deals always get done. Doesn't matter if it's going up, it's going down. There's always a deal to be had if you know what's going on in the market, and that's what our goal is. So let's go ahead. We're going to share some of our charts. We'll walk you through what the latest and greatest is in the South Florida condo market for Tuesday, June the 9th of 2026. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you, and then we can get started with some of these